Hey, good morning, Patriots. Man, oh man, it's great bumper music coming in. I feel like I just want to grab a pina colada and go sit on the beach somewhere every time I hear our theme. I don't know who picked that, but we should liven it up. But someone who does not require livening up is Chris Cordani. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. Yeah, I think we should liven that up. That's kind of
Did you pick that music, by the way?
I
I've
did
always
not.
wanted. I've always wondered who picked that music for us because it's like I said, it's like, man, it's kind of mellow. It's like I want to do the samba on the beach with girls with no clothes. Did I say that? I did I say that out loud? Oh my!
Oh, well, not
So
possible. Stomp on the beach with girls with no clothes, possibly, or at this point, maybe it's listen to Michael Bolton. That's what it reminds me of. It's like
yeah,
remember
or
those.
you could be. Go ahead, keep going.
I'm I'm an '80s guy, right? But there were some
Yeah,
bad things
well, me
about
too.
'80s music, and one of those was the horrible pop ballads with that mellow keyboard. That's what it sounds like. We're gonna have to liven that up. That's right. I have something that might liven it up because I always have a
Yeah.
cunning friend.
Speaking of livening up, see, we think of things that would be fun from the '80s. Cory Booker, is that his name? Senator Booker. He would be on the beach with a bunch of guys. Just saying, all like oiled up. Something's wrong with that guy. Something is wrong with him. Spartacus.
Yeah, Spartacus.
It's like our friend Bob Hayes, when he made Airplane, when what's his name was talking about Billy, do you enjoy gladiator movies? Have you ever seen a grown man naked? Peter Graves. I'm thinking about Peter Graves. So when our friend Ted Stryker, aka Bob Hayes, had to take over and fly the airplane for him. So,
Oh, here's something
But I
interesting.
digress. We have some royalty coming on the show this morning, don't we? We've got some rock and roll royalty, right?
We have rock and roll royalty from around the world. First off, as you
Yeah.
know, Nancy Quatro will
Yeah.
be with us. She's great. Nancy Quatro Glass is going to join us very soon, and obviously one of
Yeah.
my favorites. I'm a big fan of all the Quatro sisters. I'm just a big fan. I even got to interview 3 of them, so that's really awesome. That includes Nancy. We also have Mike Nova from Ukraine, and this is perfect timing because the
Nova.
Zelenskyy appearance on 60 Minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to talk about that because I've been listening for my other job for Newsmax, and I do some other things too. But anyway, for the other job, I've been paying attention to what General Cavalli, the commander of EUCOM, our European command, has been saying. And let me just summarize for everybody. He's lying his ass off. That is Cavalli in front of Congress regarding the status of Russia and Ukraine. Just saying. We'll get into that with Mike, though. I don't want to get into that now. So, but lead the way, Chris. What do we want to talk about first?
Well, let's see. A lot of things are happening. We know Shifty Shift wants to Shifty Shift. I keep calling him Shift. He wants to try to. He's accusing the Donald Trump administration. I'm going to say it the right way, without evidence of insider trading. You don't hear without evidence anymore when a Democrat says something. You ever notice that? You never hear that.
No, I know. And what's interesting is that I think Trump told everybody buy. He said, it's like, I don't know how it's insider trading if the president says now go buy. It's like,
it's like outsider trading.
Yeah, it's outsider trading. It's like he said, now go buy. And it's like, I think that's a hint. And I don't play the stocks, although I may have invested in a certain company I belong to, just saying. I cannot confirm nor deny that, but I don't play the stocks. But for those who did, I guess they made out pretty well. And it's going to be volatile because the president's going to do some things to change the trajectory of our industry, of our manufacturing, and of our economy. He's going to make us more resilient, more independent, which last time I checked is a good thing. So what exactly are they whining about? What are they going to investigate next? I mean, what are they going after? Did they say, Chris?
Well, I have a little bit here, but yeah, Schiff is trying to look. He's been trying to pull stuff all over the place anyway. What's going on now?
He pulls a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you know he was friends with Ed Buck, who killed 2 black men by drugging them and having sex with them? And I'm not joking.
Oh, that sounds like something Schiff wouldn't. Sounds like somebody Schiff would know. He's a real slime ball. Last week he was trying to set up a shadow government, which to me, that's treason, if you will.
Yep, by all definitions I'm aware of that regard constitutionality and governance, a shadow government would constitute sedition at the least, treason at the most. So,
Right.
something I do hope Pam Bondi and company. Speaking of Pam, and I want to comment on this real quick. I see a lot of chatter out there, and I agree with the chatter. The Patriots too. Where is the Epstein passenger lists?
You're not going to get it. I've said this for a long time. We really want to see it. All of us want to see it. The problem is there is a chance, a very good chance that certain, let's say, certain parties who might have not really committed suicide may have been working with certain
Yeah, I
intelligence
agree with Rick
agencies.
Ginger. He may have killed him more than two. I agree. Anyway, keep going,
Right,
Chris. I just
right.
was responding to Rick
So
Ginger.
that's one of them too.
So
But a lot of very powerful people on several sides do not want their names out there, and I don't know if Pam
yeah.
Bondi wants to get the RFK treatment. So who knows?
Well, so this is where I don't want to say anything to give anything away, but there's some new things coming regarding 9/11 stuff. So I got to be careful about how I talk about this because things are in progress. But let me say this for those who follow me, you'll see hints in my social media of what's going on over the next few weeks. But big things are happening. And it has to do with 9/11. But my point to bringing that up is that there are a number of, can I say the word dangling participles? That's not a male thing, is it? That's not like something, it's like a dangling issue, right?
You
Not
could
like
say,
dangling bits. By the way, did you see that they put up a 45-foot naked woman in front of City Hall in San Francisco? I mean, how in the hell did they know it was a woman, for God's
well,
sake? How did they know?
personally, I'm sure a lot of San Francisco will be offended by a woman being there. So
Yeah. She doesn't have dangling, but she doesn't have dangling participles. Just saying.
why don't we just call those? Why don't we
Dangling
just call
free.
those? We'll call those Adam shifts. There we go. We'll keep it clean. If she
Well,
doesn't have any Adam
anyway.
shifts, that's a
Anyway, for the
principle.
Patriots to understand, there are like 5 different things that President Trump has agreed or promised to get the information out on. First off is JFK. Apparently, I do believe this, by the way, that the government went about hiding things. So Tulsi and her team and Joe Kent, they're all looking for that stuff. Joe Kent did a great job last week in front of confirmation. He's the CTC guy, counterterrorism center guy, good guy. I've never met him personally, but we followed each other on X, and I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. SF guy, former special forces guy. So she and Joe are out looking for all this stuff. Secondly, well, I think there's going to be some disclosure on UFO stuff. The truth is out there, as Fox Mulder is apt to say, and it really is. And then also, we were promised the Epstein passenger list. I think that has more to do with intelligence relationships than names on our side. I think we're going to come to find that maybe our allies aren't quite so much our allies in some cases. I don't think people should be surprised by that if we come to find that certain close allies were playing fast and loose with Epstein to get our secrets. Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last. And then obviously issues regarding 9/11 and 9/11, Afghanistan, the Afghanistan fall. All these things are going to be looked at by the current team. And on the 9/11 stuff, if we can get certain things declassified, I think it's going to change the way people view the 9/11 attacks by a order of magnitude different. I mean, like it's already bad, but it's going to be once everybody knows. Yeah, my nickname at DIA Beach Cat Blues was Spooky, and it was, and I'm not joking about that. When I ran Stratus Ivy, that unit right there, because I did the more exotic things that people thought would get me fired. I guess they were right. They got me fired, right, Chris?
Yeah, they did. You got a little
I
bit
guess
of
they were
trouble.
right. I guess they were right. Yeah. So
That's about it.
yeah. So I would still do it again. You know, what is that Grateful Dead song? Maybe going to hell in a bucket, but at least I'm enjoying the ride.
Yeah, you will survive. There we go. You'll
That's
keep on
right.
trucking. There we go. Oh,
That's right. Another great song. So
that's right. That's right. Yeah,
anyway, so I'm just saying to the Patriots and to you too, Chris, that we have some new things coming, and we're working on it. And some big names are involved. I mean, big names, maybe even
oh,
the big guy, not Joe Biden. Just saying.
yeah. Well, here's something for you.
Yeah.
Operation Crossfire Hurricane is going to be coming out too.
Ooh.
That information,
Yeah.
but I suspect that'll be quite redacted as well. There'll be a lot of interest in there, dirty hands in there that don't want their names out, or there's going to be something. The American people, first off, the government seems to think the American people are going to panic over every little thing. Yes, I know your lefty friends will be doing that, but they're perpetually
Yes.
alarmed anyway. What we saw during the terror, and this is something that I believe should be held as important. You said people made out pretty well if they bought at the dip last week. Well,
Yeah.
I will also counter with, well, people didn't do so badly if they just held on when they had it before and didn't panic sell and then
That's right.
waited it out
That's
to
true.
come back. This probably shows a little bit more of the resilience of today's society in that respect. I know there are a lot of people on the certain end, on the far left end, that'll go nuts, but that's what they're conditioned to do anyway. But the people that are holding the stock market shares, things like that, they're not going to go nuts over a couple of names maybe gone awry. So I do believe the American people can be trusted with the information that they probably thought the American people couldn't be trusted with back in 1952. Okay, that's
Yeah.
where I'm going.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you should bring up the perpetual bedwetting of the left,
Yes.
and it's beyond that. It's evil bedwetting. This is like bedwetting. I don't even know how to describe it, and throwing up because I tweeted out this earlier about Sarah McBride. That guy, that dude,
Yes.
he was complaining. What is his name? I'm looking for his name here. I don't know. I mean, his real name because he's a dude.
Yes.
Delaware. Anyway, he's not. It's not a girl. It's a man, baby, as Austin Powers would say. It's
like
true.
Macron's wife.
Yeah. Anyway, so he was complaining, saying that we, the Republicans, well, I'm a Republican. I don't hide it. I'm a conservative. I'm a Reagan guy. That we are the ones responsible for enslaving people. It's like, what? let me just refresh people's memories here. Andrew Jackson, Trail of Tears, moving some of my great grandparents, my great grandma to Oklahoma. Just saying.
Wait,
Uh,
are you a Tonkahantas?
I'm part Cherokee. I'm told. I'm not going. I'm not. I never claim it. I never claim it.
So you're not
I do have high
Tonkahantas.
cheekbones,
Yeah.
right? I
Right.
do
You're
have
not
the high cheekbones.
Tonkahantas. All right.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, but back to the story. And anyway, so the Republican Party was formed on ending slavery. Am I not right about? It's like that's kind of our party. We started like getting ready. It's like ixnay on the slavery a, or we're going to come do things, and we had to. Don't. Abe Lincoln, vampire slayer, wasn't that right? Didn't he? He was a great Civil War leader and vampire guy. Didn't he kill vampires too? Or am
On
I
occasion,
misinformed on that?
Nebraska was very infested with vampires when he was a young
That's right.
lad. So he learned how
Little
to use
known.
the stake. Yeah,
Little known.
yep, he learned how to use the
Little
stake.
known.
Now his brother, his little known brother Mortimer Lincoln was a vampire. Was a werewolf hunter. So he learned how to shoot those little musket things with the
all
silver
in the
bullets.
family.
See?
All in the family. Well,
That's right.
Well, let me get back to the Democrats who really are werewolves, and that is well, Jefferson Davis was a racist, segregationist leader of the South, Civil War, KKK, General Bedford Forrest, Civil War guy, South guy. Just
Nathaniel
saying,
Bedford
Democrat.
Forrest. That's right.
Jim Crow. Um, Woodrow Wilson, one of their heroes, instituted segregation across the nation. Separate but equal. He created that.
Yep. And by
then
the
that,
way, let's just add to that. He jailed a political rival who ran for president against him.
did he? Who was
Yes,
that?
he did. Eugene V. Debs.
There you go.
Funny thing is, he was a socialist back then, but this is what it's a Democrat tradition, jailing political opposition.
There you go. Who knew it went back 110 years? Well, it does.
Oh, I
anyway, and then going on to FDR. Who doesn't love FDR? Well, apparently, the Japanese don't, because he interned them. It's true. I mean, come on.
Which FDR? Is it Franklin Delano, the communist, or Franklin Delano Rosenfeld from Seinfeld? That was one of the last episodes.
It's the one that the Parkway's named after there in New York. So
okay, we're gonna have Nancy in pretty soon. As soon as we get the camera going with her, and got to get that.
Anyway,
going.
let me finish my rant. My rant. You've got Johnson's Great Society that enslaved the black population by, bringing back, all this, destroying the black family, separating, the men from the women, to destroy that, which he did. That was his plan. And then, by the way, did you know that the Democrats opposed women's suffrage? It was the Republicans supporting. It was the Republicans supporting women's suffrage, not the Democrats. That was us again.
Considering all these women vote Democrat now.
I know, it's insane. And then fast forward to Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and Bill Clinton. Those are all like pro-women guys, right?
Well, I guess you can say Bill Clinton was a pro-woman guy.
I'm just asking because, I'm just saying that Sarah McBride, or whatever his name is, dangling participle guy. It's like, it's them. It's them, not us. It's like, no, you're the one that enslaves people. You're that guy. You're the guy that your mom told you to stay away from when you were a kid because, you're evil. Anyway, they're evil. Just say it. Hopefully they'll reform someday. Well, maybe we'll help show them the light, right? I mean, we're here as a positive influence.
That's true. We are positive people. That's just us. That's just the way we are. We're the beacons positive. Of positivity. By the way, did you know? Imagine that the back. Did you hear the backlash that Bill Maher is getting just for meeting with President Trump? Have you seen this?
No, I don't think so. No.
Bill Maher met with President Trump recently, and I get this.
I heard about that. I didn't hear about the backlash.
Right now, the backlash I'll get to, but the fact is, he went to again. You run a show, you criticize the president. The president invites you on. By the way, he's pals with Kid Rock. By the way, both of them are pals with Kid Rock. So they got them together, sat down and had dinner. Something that should have been something that used to be done a long time ago, where people from opposite sides sit down and hash things out and act cordial to each other.
Yeah.
He comes back and says he finds Trump charming and everything else. He had a good time. They talk calmly. They disagree with each other. He listened attentively and all of that. And the left is in a collective Pavlovian tizzy, if you will.
Are there panties in a bunch?
Yes, they are. They're pretty bad. As a matter of fact, one of the worst ones is this fool Keith Olbermann. You remember him, right? Kind of. Keith Olbermann is the guy that was on MSNBC with The Big Show. He was on ESPN.
He's like the Colonel Klink of the left.
That's right. And so he every once in a while pretends he's relevant. And he comes in and starts mouthing off about somebody, and nobody cares. But this time, they're like, so all right. And I guess we're giving him a little bit of airtime. But let's see. He was yammering on.
He needs it.
Right. He said, by the don't overanalyze Maher prostituting himself to Trump. Maher works for the same fascists at Warner who took over and corrupted CNN. Well, you mean another station that wouldn't hire him, you're saying, right? There you go. That's what he posted on X.
That's true.
Maher said he was great. Look, you host somebody, you're going to be good to him. And this is the left. I remember the left was celebrating when Sean Penn came back and said, "Oh, I had dinner and hung out with Fidel Castro. And he was so charming and wonderful. I loved spending so much time with Fidel Castro." And they're like, "Oh yeah."
Sean Penn had a cigar fetish. Just saying. So I don't want to go down that path.
the same cigar fetish as
Anyway.
Castro or the same cigar fetish as Bill Clinton?
Yep. Same thing. Same difference.
Okay.
Same.
All right. Still trying to work on Nancy.
Well, what
Yes.
are we to make of this? Oh, is Nancy coming in? I know
We're
Nancy's
working
trying
on
to
the
come
camera. There's a little issue with the camera. I'm trying to. It looked good before. Now it's off again. So we're trying to work this out. Don't worry, Nancy will be back. Which she's working on the issue right now. So that'll be cool because I want to get her thoughts on this.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, who doesn't want to talk about Keith Olbermann? I mean, it's like everybody loves that guy, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the funny thing. Bill Maher just basically all he does is poke fun at the right, poke fun at Trump. He calls himself a centrist. He goes in and meets with the guy. Why don't some people on the left meet with Donald Trump and talk to him? Because you know what? They're afraid that everybody's going to turn on him or them.
Yep.
That's what it is. And that's because they're conditioned to do so. They're like children.
Yeah. And let me, I've had some personal experience in this area as we've talked about before. I'll talk about it a little bit now while we're trying to get Nancy on. So some of you probably remember, I was advising Tulsi Gabbard when she was still a Democrat. Now, I know back at the time when this happened, back about 10 years ago, about 13, yeah, it's more than 10 years ago now. Time flies. It was very unpopular to be talking to Democrats because, our side was in the minority and the Democrats were being Democrats. So it was controversial. I didn't think it was, but, Tulsi was a fair-minded, practical representative for Hawaii. And her concern was, hey, Little Rocket Man is going to get nukes and we're going to get nuked. I don't think that's a good idea. So let's figure out how to talk to people to make sure that doesn't happen. So I can't give away everything that we talked about because, it was helping Hawaii defend itself. And I worked with her and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Joe Dunford, Fighting Joe. And we bridged things. We made things work. Imagine that, Chris, making things work, having a dialogue that people set aside their political differences and just said, look, this is important because these citizens, Hawaiians, who have great luau's and, I don't watch the new Magnum PI. The old one was great. But, my friend Bob Hayes lives there. So I got to defend Hawaii, right? So it is what it is. So, but we had a dialogue, and I think it was an effective one. And that's my point, to ignore reality and try to pretend that, I'm going to be angry with people because they see things differently. It doesn't really work in real life. I think the left's going to come to find that out really because they keep doing it. It's going to bite them in the Keith Olbermann eventually.
Right. It's basically a childish mentality anyway. That's what it is. It's a bunch of children who just can't seem to get along because one kid wanted to have crackers for his snack for the class, and the other one wanted to have cupcakes, and then it became a big war because they all just want their way. These are the same people who describe going to work as adulting. Okay, that's it. The same people who still eat macaroni and cheese for dinner every day.
God,
thank you.
The millennials. Oh my God, the millennials. Don't get me started. I mean, I've got my son who's 18 is graduating from high school, so we're trying to. I hope he's not listening. He won't listen. Now? He won't listen to this. What's that? He won't listen to this. I'll tell you right now, he won't listen. It's like, what? What's that? Say again.
Oh, I thought he's a Zer, isn't he? Not a millennial.
I guess he's 18, so I guess that's something like that. I don't know.
I can't keep track.
He was born after. He was born after. I guess. Well, they're all millennials to me. Anyway, he's got to follow. He's got to make some hard choices, and I guess I can say all of his friends are like marshmallows. They're like they all kind of follow trends. By the way, he loves President Trump. He actually got a picture with Trump. I framed it for him. He went by himself because I was tied up doing something. Went by himself, Chris,
right, to
a rally in Greenville and met the president by himself at 18. It's like I was like, and he made it through security on his own. I was very proud of the kid. Don't tell him I said that. Don't tell him. Don't. That'll encourage.
Well, he's not listening, so that should be fine.
He's not listening. So anyway, So, but I was very proud of the fact that I went to, my friend Laura Trump. I love Laura. Hey, Laura, shout out. Great job helping the president. And said, hey, can I get my, and she, yeah, sure. So she got my son in, and he met her. My son, Ryan, met President Trump. Coolest thing ever. And I said, and I told him, it's like, I don't think you understand how unique this is for, an 18-year-old to do that. I mean, when I voted for Reagan at 18. I never met the man. I had, I was like just some kid in Ohio at the time. But I'm just saying, I think, has an idea of what's going on. The other kids his age are just like, yeah, everything the Democrats say is good, the Republicans are bad. And it's really sad that they have that attitude.
It's what we were taught in a lot of ways too. I was growing up in the
Yeah.
70s, so we had. I was in a small city. Doesn't matter where and everything, but the idea is we were taught for a very long time a lot of Zinstory. After the People's History of the U.S. came out, we were taught obviously not to the same degree, but every history. I'm sorry, we never had history classes. All the history teachers were fired, and they brought in social studies teachers. So we kept learning how mean we were to the slaves, how mean we were to the Indians, and we never really got to learn a lot more than basic names and anything else when it came to history.
Right.
So it just stopped before World War II. We never got to learn about World War II until maybe later on, late high school, when you got to take the electives or learn more about that stuff. But the fact is, they also ingrained this whole thing about global warming. You remember global warming before it became climate change.
Well,
we have how cold was it here last week? It was 36 degrees the other day.
I know. So D Hogan 24 just mentioned about, I'm wearing my Wright State alumni. So
Hogan,
I don't know if you knew this. I've got a degree in environmental studies, so I'm constantly like saying no. Well, I literally listen to NPR, and my eyes roll so much when they talk about climate change. I can barely stay on the road because it's like, oh my God, it's like so much fiction. So as someone who has a degree in environmental studies, Wright State University. See right here, I got the T-shirt and the degree. I got the degree. It's up on the wall. In classes of 86, you can look it up. Climate change, man-made climate change is a fiction. Let me do the Jim Kirk thing. Fiction.
Fiction. There we go. Again, and this is the problem is they frame these things to kids on the same level as don't throw garbage on the floor.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
But think about this. They frame it though in the same directive as don't throw garbage on the floor, keep your areas clean, conserve water. Those are obvious. We're Americans. We're in the world. We have an obligation to be good stewards of the earth.
Exactly.
But they have turned it into a force of fear mongering and making people afraid to pretty much do anything.
Yeah. And so our friend Jerry Corsi wrote a book on this. Keep talking.
Right. Now, here's the idea. We're now bad people because we don't agree with the climate change agenda. We're evil fascists because we don't agree with the climate change agenda. And this is 2 or 3 generations of the far left hippies pushing that. Yes, this book is the truth about climate change, global warming. And all
and I know Jerry's not on today, but we'll have him back soon. So just if you want to know, I'm speaking as a credentialed expert. Just say it. It is what it is. You can complain all you want. I don't care. I got the degree.
I remember going through this. Yes, it's bad to litter. Don't litter. Yes, conserve energy. It's good to recycle. That's a great thing. But all this stuff where you're saying, oh, now you have to drive. See, this is where it was looking. Now the government is trying to control what cars you can buy, what stoves you can buy, what energy you can use, how long your showers can be, how hot you can put your house. Right.
All unconstitutional.
But they're doing it in the name of you're a horrible person if you don't follow. It's emotional guilt. Right.
It's Marxism repackaged with science as the victor of delivery, trying to convince people to moderate their behavior and become communists by the belief that somehow their personal actions will change global processes which don't care. these things are going to happen whether we want them to or not. It is
That's right.
what it is.
Oh, and guess what? What's going to happen now, whether anybody wants to or not? And basically, we all want to. We have special guests in today, and definitely we can talk about the 60 Minutes with, of course, the extremely cool Nancy Quatro Glass. We see you and
Hey,
welcome.
Nancy. Good morning.
Finally.
And to complete the rock hour, we have another rocker, the great Mike Nova.
Mike Nova.
Mike,
Tony
meet Nancy
Shaffer, Chris
Glass.
Cordani.
Mike, meet Nancy
Morning.
Quatro. Nancy Quatro, meet Mike. So there we go.
I don't know what
Next,
happened, but I couldn't get it to work. Oh,
Well, it's working now. That's good.
That's right.
So maybe did Gavin Newsom like reset your computer, Nancy? Is that what happened? Gavin touches things and they turn to, not good stuff.
That's kind of like Adam Schiff. Well, that's another thing.
Yeah.
So he touches something else. Hey, speaking of touching, I want to get you guys on this before we go into the serious stuff. Those are the Antifa LARPers are back out again because Trump's president. They don't get a lot of coverage because, hey, they're just Antifa LARPers, blah, blah, blah. Well, they're still out there. Sometimes, though, they get what they deserve. So I thought, let's just say, protesting's greatest hits. Take a look at this jerk who's coming at a guy, a Trump supporter, if you will, with a weapon and, of course, a mask.
Yeah, I saw this. This is good.
Caught it? And there you go. Punch a
Ooh.
commie.
Ooh, boy.
Gonna leave a mark.
He's going to feel that one.
Oh.
And look at him go down.
Yeah.
One punch.
You're next, babe. I'm okay. I'm
Look at
okay.
this. He again, and this is important. They come at you with weapons. They come at you many on one. This is why they don't do one-on-one, because their weapon will get caught. Their skinny arm will snap. They'll get it right in the face.
Yeah, that's good.
Now that is you get what you deserve.
Yeah. So, so someone who's like Antifa is a guy that wears high heels named Zelenskyy, right? Zelenskyy wears high heels. I think he'd probably have the same kind of girly man slap, like, He would. He would.
Probably.
So,
Probably.
well, so let's get right into the Ukraine thing. So, Mike, I was on TV earlier today. I work for Newsmax, and we're talking about a little bit of the Zelenskyy stuff. And so we had this interview.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it to you. So tell us what your thoughts are regarding the Green Goblin, as we call him here on the channel.
The Green Goblin. Oh, man. Tony, so great to see you again, Chris Cordani. Nancy, what a pleasure to meet. Yeah, what a pleasure to meet you, Nancy. I heard you're a rock star. I love rock stars. So
Yes, she is.
great to meet you, Nancy.
Thank
Tony,
you.
yeah, absolutely. Tony, to answer your question, man, I have empathy for anybody that's in a war zone, for sure, even if it's you know what I mean? Even if it's a president. But at the same time, you guys know some of my backstory with the office of the president in Ukraine, and just how upset I was that in a time of war I witnessed that much drug abuse. Speaking of rock stars, I think that's kind of what Zelenskyy has ran his administration like. It's a team full of rock stars that then find themselves 3 years into a war. We're on to our 4th year into a war. Like, oh, I wonder why this war isn't over yet and why people aren't, still helping us. Because, there was definitely mismanagement in these last 3 years of people, of funds. Luckily, there's a bunch of Ukrainians on the front lines, speaking for Ukraine, I guess. Luckily, there's a bunch of soldiers and generals and, military members that are taking this war really seriously, because they're the ones that are actually on the front line every day. Zelenskyy is not, and I think he's starting to tone down. I mean, I watched the 60 Minutes interview highlights. He's starting to take a little bit, different tone. I think he's just really, he had another interaction with Trump, with Macron, from what I believe, right, in France. Did you guys see that or no?
Mm-mm.
No.
I didn't see that.
I could be mistaken. Maybe that was earlier. I was. Then okay. So the last one is probably the one with in the Oval Office with the meltdown, right? Is that what it is that we know about? At least
Yes.
between the four of us.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I thought I saw something else, but anyway, that could have been another clip from. I have to check the facts on that, but yeah. Okay. But yeah, I do see him taking a different tone as he should be. And I mean, I can only hope for the best. You know what I mean, Tony?
Hey, Mike, do you actually know?
So, well,
do you
part of
actually-
my view of it is, and I feel tragic. I feel terribly for the people of Ukraine. I think that they have been caught in the middle of two giants who really don't care about their humanity. They don't.
Exactly.
The Russians have always been very, very casual with life. I mean, their history is one of brutality. And Putin recently invoked the Great Patriotic War. With week, he actually referenced the Great Patriotic War because they're about to return to the offensive. General Cavalli, I was critical of. General Cavalli, the commander of EUCOM, said this last week. Oh, Russians are exhausted. No, they're not exhausted. They're taking a step back and getting ready to return to the offensive. So, and that's what I'm worried about. It's like, dude, more people are going to die for no reason. Time we end this. And I still believe, and this is, we can't win it militarily now, just being blunt. It was, to me, in my judgment, Mike, I want to get your opinion before I ask Nancy, but this is all about gas and oil. This is about Donbass, all that whole area that they want, the Black Sea, Donbass. It's the oil-rich, the mineral-rich area of Ukraine. Russia did not want a competitor in Ukraine. What is that a reasonable belief on my part, Mike?
100%. We're talking about Black Sea being the only warm water port for Russia that they currently have control. Gas, oil for sure. For Putin, I mean, let's see, what is he, 70 right now? He's got another, I don't know, like 10, 20 years in him. We'll see how long he's in office, right? Whatever that's going to look
10,
like. But
maybe 10. Yeah.
Maybe 10. Yeah. If he's not assassinated. One of his cars did get blown up the other day. One of his limousines in downtown Moscow, right?
After a Zelenskyy public warning, by the way.
Yeah. So, it's like I mean, he has the power to do it. Putin does, to make a statement here towards the end of his life and try to set up Russian interests in the most, with the most prowess possible, So, I mean, that's what it is. And then through a battle of gas, for gas and oil, and then territorial advantage, potentially, taking Ukraine fully, which is still on the table, taking Ukraine fully. I mean, there's a few $1 trillion in resources there for sure, outside of gas and oil, with, some rare earths and agricultural advantage and stuff like that.
Mike, do you actually?
Well, that's what I want to ask Nancy about.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can, Nancy. Yeah.
Okay, good. Do you actually know Zelenskyy?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, a little bit. I was invited through a project that I produced. I'm a media producer here in the United States, but I was born in the Soviet Union. I'm half Russian, half Ukrainian. And my interaction with Zelenskyy was a few years ago when he invited my team to come and perform on state-controlled media with some of our media that my team had produced in the United States. So limited interactions, but I got to see a lot of the inside of the office of the president in Ukraine during 2023 when I went from January to March.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
So Nancy, I want to ask you a question about this, about what we're talking about. So President Trump said, I think yesterday or the day before, that Ukraine is not our war, and it's not our war. Now, Mike, I hope you don't take that personally. It's not our war.
No, I'm not going to take anything personally. You guys, we're friends.
Yeah, but Nancy, so what do you think? Because he called it Obama. That's a slip. He called it really was Obama's war.
Yeah.
He called it Biden's war. So
Technically,
yeah, technically, it's
count the
kind of
Maidan
Obama's
rebellion
war.
and events that led up to here. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's true. The Maidan revolution, all that stuff. So, Nancy, do you agree with President Trump that we should take a step back and find a way to be helpful, but not be in the middle of this?
Yeah, I actually do. Yeah, I mean, I just, even the money, I can't get off the money part of it, to tell you the honest God truth, because that money comes, everything they spend comes out of our pocket. So,
Oh yeah.
and so
Just
I
take more.
can't, I've been on a rant the last, I don't know, the last month since Doge came out and started talking all about, everything they're finding. If it's true, I'm prefacing everything with if it's true now, because I expect a fat paycheck back.
Yeah.
So I do think we should stay. I think we should stay out of it. I don't think we will, and I don't think we ever really know the truth of what's being spent. And
so that's part of what I think we four I think would appreciate. As I mentioned early when we started the show, that there's several things that President Trump's promised,
Mhm.
and I believe he will live up to it. I'm not sure if people below him will, because I think there's some pushback on a lot of his things.
Yeah.
But the truth, he wants the truth out. I think he believes, like we do, transparency is the best policy. But I don't always believe that people below him act in good faith. So back over to you, Mike, regarding good faith. Now, I do believe that there's a path forward that people can be happy. Ukraine, I believe, has a great potential for the future. They could become essentially the Switzerland of that part of the world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They have a massive potential, but the idea that they're going to become part of NATO, I don't think it's a good idea.
Mm-mm.
I don't know why they'd want to do that. I don't even think we should be part of NATO at this point, because so many of the values of the UK and France are not ours. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't believe in locking people up because they tweet something or say something that gets people's attention. So, what do you think, Mike? Do you think we ought to? How should we look at Ukraine going forward?
Tony, Chris, Nancy, Tony, this is such a great question. And by the way, I'm not going to take anything that we say here personally. I know that, I have a couple citizenships, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, you could please say whatever you feel like you need to say, you know what I mean? Just because I have a couple citizenships, I said this to a friend the other day, here at their house where I'm at, this freaking mansion in Austin, Texas. It's been so fun to stay here, but we've gotten into a lot of political talk and business talk and artistic talk. We've been writing music here and stuff, but when it comes to Ukraine in general, Tony, one thing that's always on my mind is that I guess this is how the politics are from the United States side, and why I'll always be loyal to the United States first, because most of my life has been spent in the United States. If we have to go to war and I'm physically fit for it, I'm going first for the United States, not for Ukraine. You know what I mean? Because I've naturally spent more time here. I'm loyal to where I've spent more time at. And on the Ukraine front, Tony, it's tough, with like what Bill Clinton kind of put together back in 1994 in Budapest with Yeltsin and the UK and Ukraine.
Budapest Accords.
But
yeah, I've studied that, absolutely.
And even if they weren't in NATO, if they had nukes right now, they'd be using them against Russia, and it would be a neutral nuclear war, over there. And they probably would use them because that's how pissed off everyone is over there. They probably would use them, but they don't have them. And there was the guarantee from the United States, from the UK, and from Russia to, as long as nuclear power is in play, then there wouldn't be any incursions into that territory. And so that's like a topic that, Prime Minister Boris from the UK, right? He'll bring. Not a lot of people talk about the Budapest Accords, but it is kind of it's kind of huge in the sense that like they did give up all their nuclear prowess, you know, and in form of a security guarantee. And it's like, shoot, you know, now we're like here with trying to send, you know, billions of dollars under Biden, you know, over there. And then now like Trump is a smart guy, man. He's like, he's trying to do what's best for the United States. You know what I mean? And
but you guys
don't fight a war.
Think about this. He has said that if we go there, if we, the United States, go there with, you know, commercial resources, people go on the ground, we start helping develop the industry. Do you think the Russians are going to attack us? I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like, do you really think? It's like, no, the Russians have said no to military force. Got it. Okay. But if we develop, if we have, you know, a number of companies working in Ukraine with Ukrainians, do you think the Russians are going to be that stupid to attack us when we're there? No. And this is where Zelenskyy, do you think Zelensky's that stupid that he doesn't get this, Mike? What's going on with this? I mean, because that's the whole idea, is that we put skin in the game that will, you know, basically tie us to Ukraine. Why do you
I do think he's that stupid. Yes.
Wow. All right. Let's
or he's on some really good drugs.
Right.
Oh, it will be. It is cocaine. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Another Grateful Dead song.
Can we do a sample? Chris, can we do a sample of Big in Japan here or not? Will we get in trouble for that?
We get in trouble for that one, unless I sing it. But then I'd get everybody else in trouble for that one. Yes, that's right. He's big in Japan. That's right.
Tony, I'm curious about something. What do you think of?
Yeah, go ahead.
For Tony, what do you think of NATO in general?
NATO is a boys' club that's outlived its usefulness. I mean, it is. Look, if you go to Brussels, you see all these people in their nice uniforms going around and acting like they're in a Monty Python skit, for God's sake, doing silly walks. Seriously. It's true. So, no, I'm not joking about it, because they don't want to spend the money necessary to be real militaries, so they dress up and pretend. It's like a cosplay thing. It's like, I'm Danish and I've got long hair and earrings, and don't I look good in your
NATO was useful at one point. NATO was useful at one point
during the Cold War. Yes, right. It was during the Cold War.
But let's expand that. We were funding NATO for a very long time. We were the bosses. We were footing the bill for a very long time. Yeah, maybe once in a while other nations would chip in a little bit. But the fact is, this way we had a buffer between the Soviet Union and its machinations and its Iron Curtain and us, along with the ocean. So we had ocean and a bunch of nations in the middle. That's why we funded the whole thing.
But
now we don't need it. We don't have very.
You've stumbled on the solution. So instead of we should have a buffet instead, with Lizzo manning the buffet in Poland. It could be like a 1,000-mile long buffet with Lizzo patrolling it. That's world peace right there.
I don't know.
I think
that's called eating the profits.
Yeah, I thought. Oh my God!
I mean, what are you going to say? JB Pritzker should be there too, helping him out.
Well, he brings a lot of weight. He'd be a great sandbag.
Maybe Chris Christie can join in.
I think NATO is like all things. They start out with decent intentions,
of course,
and then they end up to be shit. Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
It's kind of like welfare. Welfare started out with very good, intelligent, do it right, and then look what it becomes. I mean, anything.
I said,
go on.
No, that's at the beginning of the last Trump administration, I did an editorial on this because I was, as you know, I became the national security advisor of the Trump 2020 campaign, and so they were paying attention to me. So when I did that, I said, first off, I outlined, you can still online, I put together their national security strategy. It's online. President retweeted it. It's out there. One of the things I said is that we need to reinvent NATO. Yeah. NATO has outlived its usefulness. Yeah. We need to focus on how we can focus it on cyber threats, global cyber threats, not just Russia. actually turn it into something that focuses on how Europe handles immigrants, which they've handled badly. Just saying, it's like we should help them establish a vetting process so they don't fall into chaos, and we should find a way to actually limit its potential for shenanigans, because it's not going to be defending against the Soviet hordes. At least that wasn't what we expected. So it was ignored. Trump and company, they were ready to talk to NATO. NATO wants to be the NATO of the Cold War. That's why they continue to antagonize the Russians, and they can't do it, and it's dangerous. It's a very Lizzo ends the buffet. Well, again, Lizzo, I think, would be a good buffer.
You just brought up England for a quick minute, and my sister lives there for over 50 years, and so her son, who lives there, is very politically astute, and I asked him a question because I had a couple friends from there write me about what's going on over there, and so I asked him. I actually copied and pasted the letter she sent me about what's going on over there, and I thought, is this really true? Because you never know, and he read it. He wrote me back. It was like a book, what he wrote me back. I mean, England is scary. What he tells me is going on is really unbelievable. And he said Ireland, Scotland, he named all the different places. He said really the only safe place right now is Poland.
Yeah.
Because
you think the police would help you out. You think the police would help you out. But did you know, Nancy, Tony, and Mike, that if you're hard of hearing, if you're hearing impaired and you ask somebody to speak clearly, the police will come and talk to you. Check this out.
Wow.
If you do, that would be really handy for us. But apparently during some conversations between yourself, apparently you have alleged, we weren't here, so I don't know if you've said it, but you've alleged to say, speak English. Or was that effect?
Speak clearly.
Speak clearly.
No, the gentleman's partially deaf. Yeah, okay. Speak clearly.
You heard that, right? He's partially deaf.
So I couldn't even hear them.
No, and that's fine. And that's why we've just come to speak, because potentially someone could perceive that as a hate crime.
See, you can't ask somebody to speak a little clearly. I talk fast sometimes, and maybe somebody will say, hey, slow it down,
Oh,
Chris.
man.
Yeah, I can say that's racist now. Thank you.
Half of Manhattan will be in jail by now if that was enforced in Manhattan.
I can tell you, I
man. Wow.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
what he was telling me about the taxation now and the hate crimes and all
It's
this
nuts.
or hate speech, he told me he wants to leave now. He just wants to get out of it.
So again, so why should we be part of an alliance with the British and French and all these other nations who have? Germany. Mike, did you know if you have your phone and you tweet something on your phone, they can come take your phone? It's like, shame on you, we're taking your phone.
Jeez,
I did not know that. It's that bad there.
Germany.
It's that bad.
Yeah.
So are you saying the National Socialists in Germany are monitoring and taking away your phones for speech that the government doesn't like? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying Adolf Hitler would be proud of the new Germany, is what I'm saying. That's what
Which,
I'm
by
saying.
the way, is another set of information that's going to be coming out soon too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, well, I want to have you both back on this topic soon, because this is not going away. We need to continue to explore this, because Zelenskyy and the war is going to be a big issue. Nancy, we need to talk more about Europe. But before we go, we have some breaking news. Chris, do you have that ready? I texted you to get something ready. I have some breaking news.
Oh, I have to get
Can you
something
do
ready
that?
now.
Did you see what I texted?
Oh, wait, hold on a second. You said text. I was looking at my text. Okay. Yeah, I'll get something. Yeah, I got
you see what I said?
Yes.
You got it ready? All right, so bring it up. Bring it up. Bring it up. So we have some breaking news. This just came out. Put it up. Can you put it up?
Give me a second.
You have Viagra? You may need Viagra for this, right? Put it on the screen, Chris.
Ooh.
All right,
Doing
it's
an audible.
It's getting there.
All right.
For some reason, I'm getting it's a little slow. I have a little lag here, so
yeah, it needs Viagra. That's a hint. Come on, Chris.
All right, I got you. Just a second.
Is it ready? I got to show this thing.
It's ready. It's ready.
All right, put it up. Put it on the screen. Put it on the screen. The Blue Origin. Blue Origin. Look who's going in the Blue Origin today.
All the girls. It's the girls'
That's
club.
right. Katy Perry, Gayle King, and 4 other women
That's
going
right.
into orbit, writing the blue origin.
Oh wow! Dang! Wow!
Man, this story writes itself.
It really does. Wow!
Oh,
Just rub it
Dude.
nicely, and it'll treat you right.
Oh!
Oh
There's
my
an all-
God.
crew, by the way, as well.
Oh, good Lord!
It
Rub
says
it nicely.
all-female crew.
That's right, all female crew.
Hanging
There
out.
you go.
Oh
The
my
blue
God!
origin.
That was a
Stroke
good
the-
one, Tony.
And I guess it will be going up.
Oh, for sure. Oh,
It'll be
man.
going up. It'll be going up. That's right.
Oh Lord.
That's awesome.
Yes, I wonder if they're going to be playing Bill Shatner's version of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds as they take off.
Well, or they could just play Leonard Nimoy's version of If I Had a Hammer.
Oh,
They're playing that at Nancy
oh
Pelosi's house,
my.
by the way.
Oh my. Oh my.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Oof.
Yeah. So billionaires with too much money and not enough Viagra make things look like, things.
Oh, Tony. Yeah.
All right.
But
So
Oh,
Mike,
man.
Mike, tell us about what you're doing. Tell the people about what you're doing. Now we got their attention.
Well, I've been in Austin, Texas for almost a couple months now. I came down for the South by Southwest Festival.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with South by Southwest, but yeah, it's a pretty big one. About 300,000 people came through this year,
Wow.
adding 400 million to the city's market capitalization. I brought down a few products on grounding. I've been researching a lot of grounding products and looking into why it's making sense to build a team around getting people grounded. Actually, for Chris, yeah, you've been sleeping on one of the mats that
Yep.
we've been selling. Yeah, so it's
Excellent.
basically
Excellent.
You sleep around text time.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Good. Yeah, nice. That's a big deal. It's
Yes,
a big
it is.
deal. Yeah. No, but at the end of the day, what it really does is it brings down inflammation in the body drastically, reducing chronic pains, chronic diseases, joint pain, arthritis. By grounding people to the earth, we've had a big disconnection with the earth in the last few hundred years, especially in the last 50 years, since we've been basically insulated from the earth with rubber soles and shoes, So that's a business, a startup that I brought down here. We sold out of all the products.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wow,
And people have been feeling, I want America healthy, man. I want Americans healthy again. And I want to do it in a cool way to where people want to do it. They want to take care of themselves and they want to feel better and be stronger as a nation, because we've got freaking China overseas. They're all, eating rice and fish and working out and whatever, you know what I mean? I haven't seen one obese person on Chinese media, you know what I mean? But I think, Americans are a different approach for sure, how we speak to Americans through product or through service. So I'm in that mode right now with, why I came down for South by Southwest. I mean, it's a huge festival, music festival too, Nancy. So that's probably why
I live in Texas, Mike.
Oh, so exactly. All
I'm
about
very,
it.
very well aware of that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I thought you guys would be at Coachella where Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez spoke.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No,
Was that her or was it Bernie? I can't even tell the two apart anymore.
They
One of
both
those
spoke.
two went.
They both
You're right.
spoke.
I'm surprised she's not on the dick rocket.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I've seen her boyfriend, so I don't
She
think
fit
she's
in.
on one there either. So
She
Trust
fit
me,
in.
another one.
Well, maybe she wouldn't fit in.
Trust me, she's been on many dick
Oh
rockets.
no! Oh,
Her boyfriend looks a lot like Prince Harry.
oh my God! Oh
So,
man, I don't
Chris,
know.
they've never been in the same room together. They've never been in the same room.
That's
They could
right.
be the same
That's
guy.
right.
Same guy.
And how would
Could
you
be the
even know?
same
Because
guy.
those two look like almost every stereotype millennial rolled up into one.
That's true. So anyway, well, Nancy, we want to have you back soon to talk more about some of the stuff and current events. Mike, it's always great to have you on. We got to roll. I got to go do something. God knows, I got to look at my schedule. I got stuff I've got to do. So no, actually, I don't know if you got. I told you this story already. I'm on like 5 medical boards now, and I'm not a freaking doctor for this county commissioner thing.
See,
Like, I got to be at a
in.
hospital meeting tomorrow. Yeah, I've got my
Government
lab coat
bureaucracy.
ready. I've got my rubber gloves. It's like, hey, where do I go for surgery? It'll be great.
Tony, I might be able to help you out with all our grounding products there. I mean, we'll figure out. Maybe we can talk
Send
later.
me the
That might
link.
be a
Send me
huge
the link.
help.
We should talk. Yeah, we'll talk later. Yeah, we're going to
Yeah.
talk later, right, Chris? We're going to get.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we have to
talk.
get some time to talk, but we'll
We're gonna
discuss
talk.
that off
Okay.
air.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
All right.
All right.
Well, Patriots, thanks for being here, folks. We love you all.
Thank you for being
we'll
with
see you
us.
again tomorrow. Yeah. Another great show. And so be patriotic. Look at Mike's stuff. Be sure and check back with us. We'll be doing a lot more cool stuff over the next few weeks. Until tomorrow, stay cool and have fun.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you all.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mike. Hey,
Yes,
Mike.
ma'am.